Hello everyone, just a quick one before the video. This is our first time making something like this, so if you have any suggestions, any improvements, anything we could do to improve the video, just comment down below and tell us what we can do. And enjoy! Yo, what's up guys? OCG Banlist just hit, and I thought I would make a Banlist prediction with everyone here. I've got Matias, Nayan, Sulaiman and Will, who are gonna help me make this
Yo.
Banlist prediction. Yo, everybody say hi.
Yo, what's up? I'm
Hello.
Matias. I'm a multiple-time locals participant.
He's shit
Yeah.
at the game.
What's up?
Yo, I'm Nayan. I've read at least 3 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so I'm ahead.
Every card he owns is 10 pence.
My name is Will. I like to drop round 7 at NAWCQs, bro. Trust.
Okay.
I'm-
Last introduction done.
I'm Sully.
Oh, Sully, come on, go on. What are you saying? Go on.
Don't be shy.
I'm Sully, and I was just forced to be here.
Moving
He's
on.
not here as his own will, bro.
The first problem of the format. Fiendsmith. So we got Moon. Are we hitting Moon? Is that going to 0?
So, in my opinion, they're not hitting anything in the Fiendsmith engine, including Moon. I think
I
it's gonna be
agree.
phased out like Adventure engine. It's just it does. It's no deck in the format is like actually actively abusing it. And I don't think there's any like top tier deck right now that has like the craziest synergy with it.
What do you mean,
Like-
Life Twin?
like,
Life Twins?
Like Ubel had a synergy with Fiendsmith that was crazy. So I think they're just gonna let it
What about Life
leave it
Twins?
alone.
Life Twins got good synergy.
True, but like it's not even like top 3, top 4, top 5 deck. It's tiered. It's like I'd say it's like tier 2, but I think that it's fine for them to keep it.
So
I'm Fiendsmith. I'm Fiendsmith number
I think
1.
Engraver is going
I
to go
hate
to
Moon.
1.
I hate
Engraver
Alright.
is the most logical hit to 1. It's already like hit to less copies in like other formats like OCG and Master Duel, so it only makes sense that they'll just bring it to 1.
All right, hear me out. All right, hear me out. So we're not the OC. We don't do stupid consistency hits because whenever there's consistency hits, the biggest issue is that most of the time they're not good hits because the deck does the same thing almost. Like if we look at Malice, it does pretty much the same thing except like their combos got a bit more weirder when Link Decoder got banned. Now they got the replace now the combo's a bit more normal now because they got like the March hairs and stuff like that to help extend. And the backups, and then Ryziel got like the new Mitsurugi support, which makes like the deck a little bit more bearing to play now. But then like if you look at like before that, like the deck wasn't awful, but like it did the same thing except like it had to play a little bit differently because you had the one detonator, so you pretty much had to play. You got to play protect the detonator with that deck. But if you look at it here, if I agree with Matias to an extent. Now I think the only card that should be banned in the Fiendsmith engine, well, there's two, is the Closed Moon and the
3 hours later.
Maybe Caesar's fine to stay, but my opinion, at least ban Caesar. Closed Moon, I wouldn't be shocked if it got banned, but honestly, I think Engraver can stay at 3, and Closed Moon can be banned.
We've had this Fiendsmith stuff here for so long. Like literally, with Snake Eyes format, they're playing Fiendsmith. Ryzel format, they're playing Fiendsmith. Next format, in Duad, they're gonna play Fiendsmith. It has to
Fiendsmith
go.
is the savior.
This deck is ridiculous. We've had this deck for so long, and it had 1 hit on the list. The first week it came out. After that, it's had nothing. Like I think it has to be go. Like Moon or Caesar, they have to go. Everyone's sick of this deck. Just constantly having their summons negated. It's just ridiculous.
I
The fact
think
that no deck loses to Nib, because you can always just make Caesar go Moon, Requiem, Caesar. Like it doesn't matter, and you get the free disrupt off of Macron Ascending Paradise. Like what is the point? It's so stupid. It's always free, and there's no downside to for going into it. There's no lock. There's no like one main deck brick. Like so much like power in the deck. It's not fair.
1,000 years of success to Fiendsmith.
I think
Yeah.
I think one of two things has to happen. Either these two have to get banned, or Engraver has to get limited. One of these two. Or
I think
Oh,
Push
you
pure
trapped on
limit.
Honestly,
Nah, nah.
hear me out. I think if you look at the OCG compared to the TCG, the OCG has really stopped trying to do like all these consistency hits. Because if you look at the TCG, we don't really do like these consistency hits. Now, granted, I think the Malice and like Ryzel thing was different because those decks were too new to
Mm.
outright kill, but like they were like a problem. They're a problem as well. So there was like a thing of like, well, how do you don't want to kill a deck, but you don't want it to be like super powerful, so you can keep on pushing out this new product. Um,
You can't
so I
ignore it.
think in a sense, yeah. So in a sense, I guess it's like putting those cards at 2 was fine, and there's going to be a world. We'll talk about it later where I think they will come back to 3. But in reality, I think a Graver Attract will most likely stay at 3, especially with the fact that yeah they reprinted a Graver, but they haven't reprinted Tracks
Yeah.
yet.
Track
Mm.
so
So
much money. It's ridiculous.
and
Like, they
Ari
have to
and like
reprint Track
and
before
and they also reprinted Caesar as well with like 500 different printings. So if anything, I could see Caesar getting a hit.
And Moon
My
is well
problem
with
Um,
TS Super as well.
My
So,
problem with Caesar
so-
there is because like it's gonna be a day 2 like big tournament event prize card. So and then there's the DDD support in Doom of Dimension. So honestly, I don't particularly
Oh
see
yeah,
Caesar.
the prize card factor
Yeah.
is like big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I think
Yeah.
I don't think he was getting hit
I
because of the
I
prize card.
still
Yeah.
See, that makes
I still
Go.
think at least
that makes
close,
more
I
sense.
think at least
That makes more
close
sense.
Moon.
Yeah.
Close
So,
Moon makes
I
a
still
difference.
So I'd
I
say
still think close.
something like
So
this.
what we
then.
I think Lacrimar. Yeah, I think.
I think
I
that's
can-
fine. I think that's what we think.
Yeah.
Or
So
hear me out. Maybe instead of, well, I guess I didn't think about it at the time. There could be also where you ban Moon and Lacrima.
I think there's no point.
Mm.
There's no point. Then you
Wait,
can
ban
sell.
both.
all right, moving on to Mermail. We got Mullen Glacier, Barrier Statue, and Minstrel. The 3 main problems of the deck. So I don't think they're gonna ban. I don't think they're gonna. Okay, I don't think they're gonna ban all 3. That's a bit too
Yeah,
harsh.
they wouldn't. It's never happening.
But they're gonna. If there was one, which one would you ban, and which one would you leave, and which 2 would you leave? If there was one.
If you have
So-
to choose one,
No, because I don't think they're gonna
Ooh.
ban 3. That's just impossible.
Because if you ban 2 of
Yeah.
them, then
maybe Minstrel. Honestly,
the deck is just dead. And like as much as I hate this deck, I don't like to see decks getting killed.
I think
Right.
Minstrel, because like Minstrel is so free. like, it's
Minstrel's the
literally always
worst
live.
one because it's the one that it's at 3, right? So you could like at the start of the turn use Minstrel to rip a hand trap, which is
Like, you
the
rip
most
the roll,
toxic
you
thing
rip-
ever.
Yeah, that's the most
rip the
degenerate thing
out
that
of
this
your
deck
opponent,
does.
Like
basically.
you rip the nib and then it doesn't matter.
Because
So
if
Glacier
you-
Minstrel's the
it
worst out
requires
of the
stuff at
3.
minimum.
So
if
then,
you really think about it, right, the other 2 are payoffs to you actually like doing your combos. Whereas Minstrel is just like, oh, start a turn just for fun, look at your hand,
Yeah, like
have
that's
fun.
that's the
right?
worst thing.
because right now,
And I think
right now,
I think that's just the point of the Red Lotus. It's for fun,
Moonin,
you know?
you cannot even easily Moulin rip because you do not get the Bahamas Shack like cost effect very easily now from Dragoons.
Exactly.
So
Because if you like think about it this way, right? So anytime they open the Minstrel, right? Let's say you're playing draw in your deck to stop to like slow down Momo, right? If the first card that they have in their hand is Minstrel, then it
Gone.
didn't matter. Oh, you have Nib
Exactly.
to stop their plays and trying to get them to stop getting to Moon and Glacier or whatever. No, I have Minstrel. Stop. Oh, I have Fool Loss. I'm gonna pressure them into not going as far into the degenerate stuff and give me draws. Nope.
Have to use it straight away.
It's the
Not
hand
change.
knowledge.
Exactly. You have
too
to use it straight
powerful,
away, and
you
then
know?
it's like, oh, okay, thank you for revealing you have a Fool Loss, and I'm just gonna not play as hard into it.
This is a load of barnacles.
No one.
we put Barrier Statue forbidden and Minstrel to 1.
It's too sacky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still
I don't
keep-
like that idea. That's
Still
just
keep the
like really
Minstrel
fucking
second effect
sacky.
as well.
The thing
It
is,
doesn't-
I don't think Mermail will get.
Alright,
Won't
so-
even get more than 1 hit at best. That's the
Let me
thing.
okay. Let's look. I'm gonna look at it like this. So the Minstrel, the Minstrel, I can agree with. Like that's just like a free ass rip. The other card that rips, I think is fine. Like in our reality, let's not look at Bahamut Shark and the Waterbury statue as what you call it, as hits
Mermail
to.
hits?
I don't look at it as hits to the mermail deck. I just look at it as hits to like just generic water support. Because like in our reality, like one Bahamut Shark wasn't Bahamut Shark was literally played at tier limits, by the way.
Yeah, and in Rizal as well.
Like
People playing Shark Rizal.
yeah, and it was played in Rizio. Like the Bahamut Shark is just too generic as well. Like it's not even just water support at that point. It's literally just like any rank 4 support. Yeah,
even in Marincess and
any
stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so any so like any deck that can make a rank 4 is going to go in Bahamut Shark. So at that point, like just keep Bahamut Shark banned because Toad is not a problem. Because in our reality, like just leave it for like the decks like Sprite and like frog, like any frog engines and all that stuff. Bahamut Shark though, like you just go into a rank 4, activate Bahamut Shark. My plays are now protected against Nib. And honestly, in all reality, the barrier statue, I just don't. I know Nayan's gonna hate me for saying this, but I just don't think like floodgates like that should exist within the game because they just create one-sided games, and that's coming from me because and that's coming from me. I used to play birds, so like I was like just ban the barrier statue and the deck's fine. So in all reality, I just think like cards like that just shouldn't exist within the game because it just it creates one-sided games and it literally says just draw the out, bro.
Okay,
So I think yeah.
So I think we agree on the minstrel ban and everything else leaves untouched. Okay, now
You can also say the water statue as well, right?
I think water statue. I think all the
for
statues
future
need to go.
hits,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think
Yeah,
it's
all
fine.
the statues eventually have to go as well.
Yeah,
They're not
I
future
think
proof.
that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Like these two make sense. Now onto the Mulchamis. Everyone knows the worst part when you get Peruliaed and you try to play around it and the next action is full loss. The game feels unwinnable at that point. So like, what do we think about the Mulchamis? What do we think?
I think
limit.
I think personally,
no.
As like in terms
go.
of the card design, I think it's healthy for the game. Because obviously you can't just make a board and support it with max C, really, right? But I think the way that decks are being sort of like built these days with people running 6 Charmies, even though I personally don't agree with it, it is getting like quite ridiculous, right? And it's just like it feels very frustrating to play against. I think honestly, they might. I know they probably need to get 10 reprints for them to even like start considering this, but I think putting all of them to 2 is a good start because then it means if you do want to play those 6 Charmies, you're gonna have to be playing all of them, right? And so then it kind of means, for example, if you're doing that blind into every single deck, then sometimes this Charmy won't even like do anything, or this one won't even do that, right? So then I think it will encourage people to play like 4 at most, right? I think 4 is a reasonable number of Charmies instead of like the ridiculous like 6 Charmies, and I just don't think there's any like argument in terms of like healthy like metas where we're saying oh yeah it's necessary for all 9 to be available at the same time. But yeah.
Nayan, what do you think?
So I think for the Charmies, I think Brulia and Nialis, those or Meows, whatever, those two are not gonna get hit. They both need to get reprinted. But like I know Brulia did, but it's still super expensive. Nialis is still ridiculously expensive. I think Phil will get limited to 1. Like they put Gamma to 1. They put all the like the degenerate cards to 1, like Shifter. They don't ban them. They leave them at 1. Like if you draw it, you draw it. If you don't, you don't. Like it got reprinted in Rarity 4. They're not gonna. They're gonna hit it now. They made their money from it. I think what Matias is saying about 4 Charmies makes sense, and this is also a 4 Charmies. Sure, you can play Nailus, but like it's not as good as the other 2.
Okay, Sulaiman, what do you think?
I think the semi-limit of all Charmies is where we should be, because like basically like having like all 9 being able to be potentially sided for like games 2 or 3 is just too much, especially when we have less counters to Charmies. So it's like, yeah, I think it equalizes if we semi-limit them.
Will, what do you think?
So I'm like a big 50-50 because like we don't got Maxine in the format. Konami made these cards for a reason, and they put the and they put the restriction before a reason. I do think like the fact that there is like a lot like it's mainly what I've seen in America. I don't know how the EU's looking because the last list I've seen in the EU, they haven't been really playing like six in the main. They've been doing that thing where they just play like all the cantrips that are good going first and second, and then mid side deck in the tournaments if anything. I don't know if that's changed over there for y'all. But like I just think this is one of those formats to where like people are playing the six to curb the format. Like I think for like when the next format when we get Ryzio in the mix, not Ryzio, but when we get Vanquishal in the mix of things, I think there's a world where people just take out their Charmies out in the main deck, and I know it sounds crazy, but like let's say I'm going first, and let's say I'm going second. I'm playing Vanquishal. I don't want to be playing Charmies, especially if I have cards that allow me to play during my opponent's turn. So that way, I instantly just turn off my Charmies. If I know, and especially like if I know like, especially if I win a die roll, I'm gonna go first. But if I'm going second, I'm gonna try to play in my opponent's turn. Well, or maybe it's just like a dumb argument, but I just don't think like. But I think Pirelli and Meows are definitely gonna stay at 3. I think Meows is fine at 3. Meows is just one of those. I think Meows is like the most gimmicky one at most. I think the only reason why it's really good this format is because we got a lot of decks right now in the format, mainly Malice. I don't know how I don't know how much
Mitsurugi.
many
Yeah.
Mitsurugi and like occasionally Blue
Different
Eyes.
trades go into it. I think.
Memento, stuff like that. Yeah.
Some
as
Memento
well.
as well.
I
It's
think-
like
I-
a
and some
Not that good.
Memento.
It's kind of
But
a
it's
mid.
not like Meows is more of a side deck card, if anything. I think Pirelli just hits Ryzio out the ass, so that's the only reason why it's being mained. I think that's more of a side deck card. Fool was like the only one I could see being an argument at 2, especially since that's the one that's gotten like the most reprintings from super rare all the way up to QCR. I just don't think Konami will do it. I think it will be left at 3, not for the sole fact that I think that's their way to sort of like if you look at Maxi, that Maxi is like a way to curb like that's the main reason of the Maxi argument. It's a way to curb the power of the game, but the fact that Maxi can also be used on top of your board is the reason why it's banned in the TCG. So I think these Charmies are just the way for Konami to try and keep the curve of the game from getting too out of hand, because let's be honest here. The game's not gonna get any slower. It's only gonna get faster for each set. So the Charmies is just their way of making sure that the game slows down. But it's also a way to where it does. It also makes it the where that the Charmies also makes it the where it can't be used going first. So
I agree
I
with that
could.
take.
So like I think Fool will stay at 3, knowing Konami, but there will be, I can see a world where maybe Konami goes, hey, this at least Fua can be a problem, so it could be at 2. If it goes to 1, that's just Saki. So it's one of those cards that it needs to stay at 3, it needs to stay at 2. I don't think it's gonna be banned. I think the card's healthy in the term of card design. I do think it's a little. Think it's a shitty feeling if your opponent goes chain 1 Perilia, you start playing on a Perilia, and then they chain Fua because you thought you were in the clear. But outside of that, I think the cards are healthy in terms of design and what they were designed to do.
So, what would you guys say? Conclusion, everything semi-limited? Or I'd say the more consensus was this the semi-limit and Meows and Purulia not really being
I
touched.
just think
I think it's more
I mean, for
realistic
me,
that
semi-limit only because like just to reduce the chances of getting like double charming. Even with
But
any
I think-
combination of charmies.
I think if we're being more
that's it.
realistic, I think if any of them are getting hit, then 4 to 2, and then the rest will stay at 3. I don't think the 2 are getting hit whatsoever.
I think 3 to 1.
Yeah,
They
sh-
always say that, like shifter at 1.
But I agree with the
Yeah.
Meows though. I think Meows is just because of Malice. I think Meows is like
Yeah.
the most unplayable one. Like I don't think anybody's gonna.
I
play it.
agree.
I think Pirelli's gonna stay at 3 because they don't have any lower rarity reprintings. But if you leave,
Exactly. And then
and
you
like
sell it.
only reason why I say shifters at 1 is because Gamma's at 1. But like at the same time too, there's
They're both
more
degenerate
counters to there's more counters to the Charmies than
Charmies,
Shifter.
yeah.
You can't. I can't
Exactly.
Ash a Shifter to negate it. If I could,
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, that would be a trash ass card. But if but I can Ash a Charmy. I don't need Gamma to counter a Charmy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, moving on to Ryziel
Sorry, move
and
Brilliant back to where the
Put
other
the
ones are.
full up too.
okay.
Yeah, put
Alright.
that foot. Yeah, put that foot too. We can,
Okay,
we can
my
leave that
bad.
Perillo alone
Okay.
for now.
Okay,
It's
and the
fine.
Meows is untouched.
Yeah, Meows is trash.
Mm,
Okay,
Let's
okay.
be real.
Okay, moving on to Ryziel and all of his problem cards. The biggest one right now, Harpy's Feather Sub. This shit is getting banned.
Yeah,
This shit
and
is
it's
going
'cause
away.
Disgusting, bro.
So
don't
is
think anyone here
X.
can
X is
disagree.
X
Fucking
is,
nuke it, bro.
X is also getting banned.
Yeah, I hate X so much. It's
Okay.
such a stupid
Unironic.
card.
Yeah,
No,
that,
unironic. Okay, so hear me out. Leave X alone. Ban Detonator.
No, they don't kill the
Nah,
deck.
that's too
No.
much. That's too much. That's too
Nah,
much.
they're
Yeah,
not
no,
gonna kill
no,
the deck.
that's fair.
But
That's-
okay, but here's the thing though. If you're banning X, you pretty much still kill the deck.
I don't think we should ban either of them. I think X should go to one.
So okay, but here's the thing now. If you put X at 1, it just becomes a sack you one of if your opponent draws it.
No, but then no,
And
I
then
don't. The deck is kind of unplayable though. With one X, okay, I guess.
But it gets slightly worse. But like it wraps back around what I said about consistency hits. I just don't think those are good ideas. I think they're only good ideas if you don't want to kill a deck just yet, but you want to make it slightly worse than what it does, because the deck is going to do the same thing with one X. It's just going to be slightly inconsistent with one X.
Okay, here's my
But
take
if
on
you-
the
but-
thing.
If you ban, so if we're not
Go ahead, sir.
looking if Konami, so here's it depends when they drop the ban list too, because if they drop it before the NAWCQ, I think they're gonna want these decks around for the NAWCQ. But if they drop it after, they're gonna try and kill these two.
Murder
Now it's
list.
Ryziel.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
are we making a murder list here, or are we making a touch list?
We're making
I think
we're
still
making
Detonator-
whatever we want this.
Yeah. I
Mm.
think the detonator should still go and just keep like extra 2, just for like this, just for the fact that Ryziel can just be like a sort of a rank 4 engine, right?
Okay, here's my problem
It's
with
like
it.
a rank 4 supporting engine for like any like other level 4 decks.
So
Detonator is really like the end board piece problem. So a lot of road decks just can't handle a detonator. Like a lot of decks that like need to pitch cards to play, like White Forest or something, or like any decks with continuous spells or traps
White Forest
just to
is
play.
White Forest is
boom.
only a rogue deck because of Detonator. That deck is tier 2.
here's my take on it. I think Detonator it's an interesting card because it's teeting a fine line between this is broken and this is like this is fine, right? Because like on one aspect it's not like full Omni negates Apollosa, right? But on the other side it's also not like it's quite oppressive, like in terms of like how decks need to be designed or how decks need to actually handle it, So, but I think Ryziel as just a rank 4 engine is just not. I don't think they're gonna give it the Snake Eyes treatment. I think they could, but I personally don't think they will just yet. I think maybe another ban list like after this would be required to do that. I think for now, my opinion is that X should go to 1, and it's not in the spirit of being a consistency hit. I understand your point on consistency hits, but I view it in a different way. So by putting it to 1, it's more like it's like how talent is at 1 now, right? So you can play a bit more like not into it, but you don't need to like be so like worried about it and like be sequencing everything just for talents when you could be sequencing for something else. In that same vein, right? It means that Ryziel's going second is nerfed because then they can't just open the X immediately, right? And then just aggregator negate something. Them actually having to search the X, I think is fine because then there's more opportunities for you to actually interact with your M board into them, right? So for example, like if you have a Caesar, right? It reduces the amount of like the chances that they just open the X and they can just X send aggregator to stop your Caesar. Then now if we put X to 1, maybe they have to go, I need to normal summon ice. Now that is actually interactable because now you can go, Caesar negate the ice, destroy it, something like that.
I think the problem with X is that it makes a lot of half boards. Let's say you ash at a pivotal point.
Yeah.
No, you ash at a pivotal point. and they just go like make a half board with like one interruptions on the board. You go X send aggregator, like it just gets rid of the problem. This is what I don't like about X. It just solves
It
much of
solves
your
too much.
problems. Yeah, it
It's
solves.
too convenient. It's too
Yeah.
convenient.
So I feel like this should get banned, and then detonator should just be left. That's my opinion.
We complained about Caesar for so long, and X just hard clears Caesar for no cost.
I know.
It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but like then again, like if we're banning X, like at that point, there's no point of like. There's no point like banning X, like leaving detonator untouched. Like at that point, you might as well just like do it vice versa. Ban the boss monster, and then like for Annie, like leave like X as like, or maybe you can leave X at 1 too, because like I think Sulaiman does have a point. Is that the Rizio cards is actually like really good rank 4 cards if you look at it. So maybe you don't want to kill like the Rizio cards in the sense that it could be used as rank 4 support. Because they don't lock you into Rizio monsters. They just the X
Rock you
just
into
locks you
rank-
into rank
rank fours,
4s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there is a world where you just ban Caesar so you don't play Rizio. Because if you look at it, like if you put X at 1, it's still gonna make Caesar, but it's just not gonna be as consistent. It's gonna do the same thing. It's just not gonna be as consistent as what it once was. But if you ban the detonator, in a sense that they're trying to kill Rizio, then ban detonator because that'll get rid of the Rizio deck issue. But the Rizio main deck cards could still be used as a rank 4 engine and extender.
I personally think, well, like one ban list like behind that eventually happening. I think Detonator still has one more format after the ban list to work,
So
and then
this,
maybe we can look at like making a rank 4.
so this is what we agree with: X to 1.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, but who knows? It's Konami.
Yeah, true.
Next one, Protoss, the one that the Rally
Ban-
Beast
Ban it. Yeah,
ban-
ban it.
ban.
Feral Imps, just to let you know,
Never came back.
Feral Imp, but just to let you know, Feral Imps just is getting a reprinting or got a reprinting in Monsters Mayhem. Do you think
That is
that's
true.
Do you think that's still getting banned? Do you still think it's getting banned?
Oh, that signifies
Well, they
ban. Oh, yeah.
reprinted Apollosa in Rarity Collection 2, and then
Exactly.
we know what
Yeah,
happened.
exactly. That
Got
needs
Savage
to
Baron
be
for
banned.
cheap, and then got banned next list.
Yeah, I think I want to give like a little bit. I think it will be banned, but like I don't think just because it got reprinted, it's gonna like that's the telltale sign. I think the reprinting is giving players like the access to it because it was an older card. Now
It's
I
like
do
$1,
think
bro.
I honestly do think it should be banned, but like there's no telling with Konami. I think it's one of those cards where Konami might overlook, but also Konami may not look over. Like we do get more quality. We do get a quality ban list. So who knows? Maybe they do hit it.
My opinion on it is so. I think it purely now it purely depends on when the balance is. If it's before the continental season, right, then I don't think King of the Thrones is getting touched. If it's after, I think it needs to go because it's. So I think dual drive is fine for like Mitsurugi into dual drive or whatever. If you can even do that with the 2 level 4s, I think that's fine. However, I think the ability that Rizal just has to just I'm just gonna go into Mitsurugi for fun. I don't think that's fair whatsoever because I think both decks on their own are fine. I think any other like mix of them is also fine. I think that the mix of Rizal and Mitsurugi specifically is just like so. It's like it's not healthy. It's not healthy for the game. The two engines are too strong. King of the Throw Imps just gives too much access to Rizal to actually get to the reptiles, and I think it also it's a fair compromise in terms of like not killing Mitsurugi, but like hitting some of their cards and not like absolutely murdering Rizal.
We paid $9 for this?
I paid 10.
Next one, we got Mitsurugi. We got Prayers, Habakiri. Where would you put these two?
I think
Praise is getting limited. I think this card is too good.
Praise
Yeah,
being limited
that
is
card is
likely because it's
basically
common. I
Sangen
think.
Kaiman, but like
You hear me?
stronger. Like
It's
there's
gonna-
no
it's
way
gonna-
this
it's
card
gonna be,
stays free.
It's gonna get the Sangen summoning treatment, bro. Which is like,
Exactly.
we printed in common, and then it's getting limited immediately. But I think
Um,
honestly, I think Mitsurugi with if you ban King of the Throw Imps, leaving Mitsurugi on its own is fine because Pure is not that big of a problem. It's still a strong deck. It's still like high tier deck, but I don't think it's like how Memento. You don't really look at Memento like yeah it's really strong, but like there's nothing here that's like outwardly degenerate where I want to have it banned, right? Um, it's the same thing with Mitsurugi, really for me. I think all the other variants are fine. It's not degenerate like Razio Mitsurugi is.
Like Mitsu is a good is fine as its own deck, but the problem is like the Mitsurugi engine just being able to be splashed
Mixed
in like
with
any
Riot,
deck
yeah.
is like is the problem. So it almost just has to be hit like in some way, which prayers probably makes sense. It's
Then,
also the way to
Mm.
play around roll as well. Like that
then
card is just
if Praise is going to 1, I assume Habakiri is being kept at 3.
It's either or.
Yeah.
Either you put Praise at 1 or you put Abakiri at 1. It's either one.
I think
I-
Prez is newer. So
No, Praise is old.
Wait, Prez is older. Sorry, Prez is older.
But Praise
Yeah.
Praise is just stronger, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Prez.
Oh, next we got the Ouroboros from the Heraldic Beast version. Well, in
Yeah, that's
any
fine,
version.
bro.
yeah. Let's
And-
ban
and-
that.
Hand Loop should
Obliterated.
not be in this game. Hand Loop is still
Hand
Hand rip should all go.
And then, so I don't know if you saw, but in German Nats, people were playing Gallon Granite into Fossil Dino. I think this card needs to go.
I
This
think-
card is way off his expiration date. Needs to
We
go.
banned like 4 cards for Sanctifier. Like we banned like Jaugen and Giving Puppet. Sanctifier. Like, why is this one card still here? It does the same thing. Like, it should go as well.
Well, Jalgan was like more of also a hit as well because
About, yeah.
it was
I mean,
about.
sort of
So that
about,
was like
yeah.
more of an about hit.
They-
nah.
Yeah.
In
So-
all reality, I don't. I think Fossil Dine is also creates one of those unfun game states of like, oh, I can't special summon. Cool.
Exactly.
Fossil Dino
Like-
plus Golgonda.
Like
yeah.
at least with Inspector Border, there's some sort of play around with Inspector Border. Like I could special summon my cards if they don't activate, or like
Mm.
yeah, there's play around with the card. Like
Yeah,
it's
but-
not like
What is a fair card, guys? Yeah. Trust.
Now,
Whereas, like, there's like
I'm not saying it's a fair card, but Inspector
I
Border
am.
doesn't really do anything right now.
yeah.
Do I think Fossil Dino will get banned? There's no fucking telling no Konami. I do think it just needs to be banned because of what y'all said, that Fossil Dino thing. But not the Fossil Dino, the Gallon
Just another
Granite. Because
thing that
I think Gallon Granite's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
Next we've got
I think-
two. I've put 2 Malice cards. I've put White Binder and Jessica. Personally, I want White Binder banned or limited. This card is so annoying. It wastes your Ash, it wastes your Imperm, it wastes everything if they've got another Malice name because they're gonna go +3. Because they draw 2
Don't you
and
mean
they also
Jessica?
get sorry, Jessica, my bad. Jessica, yes. This card needs to be banned. Or limited. So this card needs to be
I think I don't
Hear
think
me out.
I don't think a ban is. I think ban is too extreme. I think limit.
They're way too extreme.
I think limit is also a bit extreme, but I can understand your frustration when it comes to this card, because like I don't think there was any reason to just give them just draws for free. I think the deck was already strong enough without it. I think there's a stronger argument for semi-limiting it along with the other names, instead of limiting it. But yeah,
And
Alright,
what
so,
about White Binder? Go on, Will, go on.
Alright,
Go on.
well-
Go on.
yeah, go on.
The Chessy Cat, I think the Chessy Cat's fine. I think Chessy Cat can stay at 3. Like Chessy Cat, like in our reality, like Ash against Malice was just against Malice is like not really a great. It's not really a great hand trap. It was already bad to begin with. But I think just with White Binder, just if we're aiming to kill the deck, just hit the White Binder. The White Binder just needs to go.
Okay.
The White Binder literally does everything for the deck. And then the Chessy Cat can stay at 3, and then if Konami's worried about it still being playable past that, they can leave the Dormouse and White Rabbit still. And then if it doesn't do anything, when they ban the White Binder, then I can see a world where the Dormouse and White Rabbit come back to 3. But Chessy Cat isn't really an issue card. And also take this as a grain of salt. I'm also a Malice player, but like in our reality, the problem card isn't Chessy. It's just White Binder. Like if we're killing the decks, just ban White Binder, call it a day.
I don't even think banning White Binder is gonna kill the deck. I think it makes it like way more fair.
What about if you
Um,
limit White Binder?
I think
Oh
this-
yeah.
the deck can
Yo,
still
yeah.
do a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Like White
Please,
Binder is
please
just
do.
Please.
Yeah.
really, really strong.
Actually, yeah. Limit white binder, please. Yeah. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't
limit
do
it, limit it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
please.
The Casper
I think
Unicorn
I
song.
think it should be banned
man.
because it just enables a lot of BS. With like reviving it stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
DD coding
Such
for
a good
3.
interrupt.
That thing reads crazy, and then it draws
Such a
for
good
fun,
interrupt.
and then it says one for fun. But I think the deck is fine without it. I think without it, it's still a good deck. We're not killing it, but we're also
Because you
sparing
could.
ourselves the fucking grief of White Binder all the time. You know.
Yeah, because
Next-
at that point it's like why play Malice if White Binder's banned at that point too? Because because like banning White Binder doesn't get rid of your silver bullets that you got to deal with too as well. Just FYI.
Yeah, but I think the deck. Well,
I mean,
some people,
Malice would be like a
people will
deck
Cyber's
becomes
file
more
deck,
fair.
right?
I
It'd
think
be a
Malice
Cyber's
as
file
Cyber's
deck
file
if you
is
lose
much
the White
better
Binder,
than.
right?
I can
Yeah,
fine.
I
if
can
it
see
becomes
that
Cyber's
because
file, I'm fine with that.
yeah, because at that point or hear me out, it could become a part of it. You could play 60 card horse. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyways,
sure.
continue. Let's continue.
Now, we agree on White Binder ban. Now we've got
Yep.
Droll, the biggest enemy, the card that is in everyone's main deck. Droll and Lockwood. Where's this card going? What do you guys think?
I think
Realistically,
I think it's staying.
it's not getting
However,
hit, but
however,
it
Oh,
could
go on.
get hit.
I think they need to print a more charmy like draw where it can only be used while you control no cards, and then they ban draw. That's my personal opinion. And I think draw.
I agree with that one.
There's
Yeah.
too many. There's too many degenerate shit like Mitsurugi that were kind of. It really feels bad saying this, but it just requires draw to be there. But I think draw is like too similar to Maxi in the sense that I can make a fucking full board and then just drop draw on you, and it just feels really unfair. Whereas if you made draw a more charmy, I think that'd be fair.
I think
Actually,
Joel.
honestly,
I think Joel's gonna get hit. Like, Boost Duad and Push Dos Santos, the card does literally nothing. You're not drolling K9. You're not drolling with Dragon Dale. You're not drolling Yami. There's
That's
no
true.
point. Like, I get people gonna complain about it in the now. But you gotta look forward into the next two, 3 sets. Like, Joel's not doing anything. There's no need for him to hit it.
honestly, in our reality too, I have this philosophy. I like what Matias is talking about. I think maybe Konami could later down the road print a Molcharmy droll almost. Like I actually do like the idea of that. Honestly, in our reality, somebody should make that a concept card actually.
Fire more charmy, bro,
Fun
and it's
fact.
gonna be like little dragons, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Actually, yeah, unironically.
Yeah.
Good cook in there. But anyways, like my philosophy is, if your deck is losing the droll, maybe it's because it was about to do something really fucking degenerate. That's my philosophy.
I
So,
think
if your
for
deck's losing-
me. Go on, man. Go. You think.
But yeah, the biggest takeaway here, if your deck's losing the droll, it was really just about to pop off and do like some degenerate ass shit, like hand rip you for fucking 5. Like, yeah, cool. Like, yeah, your deck lost the droll because it did a bunch of bullshit.
Well, at the same time, I think that those like that. You know how you mentioned Henry for fucking 5. You know, do that degenerate shit. I think that only really becomes a really big problem when those decks go first. Going second, those decks, when like it's like the whole White Forest thing. Going first, White Forest without draw feels kind of like completely unbeatable because it is really ridiculous. But then
Yeah.
going second, I feel like if you've already made your board, then now that actually like opens the opportunity for there to be like Yu-Gi-Oh to be played. But for now,
Yeah.
honest, draw.
I'm
I
not-
think it's gonna stay.
Yeah.
And the fact that
It's
so
just-
many decks are just future-proof from Droll, because they can like set from deck or activate from
No,
deck.
true. Yeah, they're moving towards
Like
that
the
kind of
Malice,
card design.
the
That's true.
Yummy field spell just activates it from deck, or places it
Or
from deck.
Dragon Tail just setting from deck. Yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Tail setting from deck, or like I don't know, Primite setting from deck. Like
That's true. True.
they can easily just make cards design around Droll. Like it's not a big an issue. I think it'll just
So we agree, Droll will get unhit. I agree with that as well.
Or
Yeah.
just remain at 3. Yeah.
So next we've got the crossout and the call by. Everyone knows that it feels so bad when you think you might trip your opponent and they just go crossout, call by. You're like, okay, it's gonna be a long day. How do we feel about those? Even though they're limited, how would you feel? Where would you want them to go?
I
Cause
think.
non-games, so they
Yeah.
should be banned.
I think having all 3 of them, the Holy Trinity as we call it, is I think for now it's fine. But I think Konami's moving towards making more hand traps that are higher quality and that sort of like play around the concept of those cards even existing. For example, like the new Dominus cards, they don't lose to Cold Buy because they're traps. They usually don't lose to Crossout because they're very deck specific, and they don't trigger talents. So I think if Konami's moving towards this sort of card design, I think they're fine to stay. Um, Especially when you're using them not to counter hand traps, but to actually like, for example, Cold By using it as a graveyard interruption is fun. Using talents going second to like snatch steal and draw cards as extension is fine. So I think honestly, in towards the future, these cards are going to be less and less like toxic in the format. I think for now it's fine. I think we shouldn't increase or decrease the number of them, especially since we're right now at least in this charmy sort of mini game. I think they're fine to stay.
Okay. Nayan, go ahead. What do you think?
I think I agree with Tess. Like, I think they're fine, especially with the new the K9 hand traps like Azuna
Mm.
and Stu.
Mm.
Like, you can't call by. I guess you can call by Lupin, but like it doesn't do anything. You're not gonna cross out them, and if you do, you should play in a mirror match. Like, I think crossouts fine. They're fine. The cards just being designed around them, but it's the same with the draw. Like, cards just being designed around them in mind. Like, no, the existence doesn't change anything. It's bad for like Ash and stuff. Cards like those. Like, it feels bad them getting cross out and called by like should and trap should resolve. But like it's 2 1-offs. Like, you're not happening. It's not happen often. When it does, it feels bad. Like, the same as like Shifter or Gamma if someone plays that.
Also, just quick statement. Don't want to cut into your sir. You know how you said
He doesn't want to
when,
cut
you,
in,
when your shit gets cross-outed, you know, it feels bad. But at the same time, you also have to balance that with the fact that the person who's using the cross-out feels good. So
Exactly. And when you draw it, you feel good as well. Like, it is what it is.
So
it is what it is.
Matias didn't want to cut in, but he cut in anyways. Anyways.
I'm sorry, bro.
Sulaiman, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I get in the future, like for sure, like the car, like about what Nayan and Matias said, like they're just printing like hand traps to beat them for sure. But I just think still like I don't know, like I just think like just hand trap counters should just go. Like it just feels bad. Like I think just ban them for game experience wise is probably I would want that for sure. Yeah.
My
So
philosophy,
Will,
okay.
go on.
So with cross out, give me one.
Never mind. We'll come back to
What do you think,
we'll come
Will?
back to Will. He's unavailable.
You got him, bro. They heard him talking about cross-out, bro. Konami's taking him away.
Every science team, bro.
All right, next one, Lancia. I think this card's not gonna get hit. Let's be honest. This card is.
Cry about it.
And never hit.
Yeah, I mean, if
I
your
think-
deck is basically designed where Lancia hurts you, your deck is too degenerate. Like,
I
hands
think
down.
Lance.
Like,
I think
that's just
Dexter. You're going, sorry.
yeah, like like before like Malice existed, you had Ritual Beast, and like
Mm.
that deck was just too difficult to play against if you didn't have like a Lancia or any Charmy, I guess. So yeah, like I don't know, like it's just your deck is like 99% too generous if it has to lose to Lancia. So Lancia is just-
I think with the way modern decks are being designed, I think Konami just knows that they're designing a deck with the express purpose of having Lancia as a silver bullet. I think, for example, Malice. I think Malice was definitely they saw it and they're like, "Yep, we were going to allow Lancia to be the one thing that stops him." It's like Duo Drive. Duo Drive was, I think, very well designed in the sense that it's very telegraphed. This is where you hit the deck, right? So if the deck is weak to Lancia, it's probably meant to be weak to Lancia. But I think it is unfortunate where in formats where you have to play Lancia, like everyone's playing in the side deck, like right now, where something like Crystron just suffers because of format tax. I think that
Yeah.
honestly sucks. But I think that's more of a it's very specific to right now. Just we have these two decks that die to the same hand trap, but one of them isn't nearly as good as the other. I think Lancia just needs to stay. It's
Okay.
not really any. It's not degenerate.
Next one, Triple Tactics.
Sorry,
Thrust.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm back,
shit,
I'm
Will.
back, I'm back, I'm back.
Will, where
Yeah,
did
sorry.
we had you in Crossout and Call By? What do you
Alright,
think?
real quick. Let me say my comments on Lancia. I agree. If you're losing, if you're hardcore losing on Lancia, your deck was like about to do something like really stupid. But like Lancey can also be one of those niche like spicy tech I just don't think Lancey is like one of those floodgates that is like an issue. If deck's getting blown out by Lancia, it was going to do something really degenerate. Because like for example, and honestly I think Lancia is like a really like cool layering floodgate because like there's like some niche purposes. Like for example, like in the Ubel format, I was actually side decking Lancia for the mirror match because like what I would do is that I would wait for them like to sort of get like their Yama, their Squirmer, and their Aerial Eater all in graveyards. All three of their extenders that like actually make the board that made it unbreakable. I would actually Lancia them so they can't use all three of those extenders. And the same thing with Voice's Voice, the one that like ritual summon from graveyard.
Saphira.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Saphira. I would actually Lancia them when they dump the Saphira, so they can't ritual summon. Um, that was like those are some like nice little things they could do. But honestly, Lancia's not gonna go anywhere. But so wrapping back around the
Crossout and call by. What do you think?
Crossout and call by. Crossout could stay at 1. I think Crossout's fine. I think it's one of those cards where it's like at 1 it feels weird because like it's at 1 because like we're playing the Charming mini game. But like in all reality, because like you're playing the Charming mini game, if you got three Crossout, 1 Charmy, that's fine. But like you got 1 Crossout, 1 Charmy, that feels really awful. And not everybody's not on the same non-engine as well. Like it requires you to play the same hand traps as your opponent's playing, and we're not like it's just one of those things where it's just like it just feels bad to play 1 and 1. Because like Crossout, I think Crossout at 1 makes it like a really mediocre card, to be honest. Called by on the other hand, it's people say, oh yeah, it could be used for hand trap defense. Yeah, it can also be used for hand trap defense. But let's say you don't hand trap your opponent and they just set called by, and like your stuff requires to go in graveyard to activate effects, this and the other. They could just activate called by with no repercussions, and actually like disrupt your plays like in like a really big way, and like the fact that that's at 1 makes it where it feels like really bad. But in all reality, I think call by is just one of those cards that just it should be banned. Granted, yes, with the hand traps, with the new hand traps, like the Dominus cards, that doesn't lose the call by, sure. The in archetypal hand traps, I don't think has ever really lost to called by to begin with. But I think in the terms of call by, I just think like it's just one of those cards to where like the fact that it's just not its sole purpose like is like to stop hand trap, sure. But if you don't gotta stop a hand trap, it becomes another interruption you gotta play through, and it's a really like massive interruption because it banishes a resource from your graveyard, but also at the same time too, it also negates the effect. So it's one of those things to where it's like it really, really hurts if you're having to play into it, and they end up banishing something you need to continue through with your plays.
Okay, moving on to Triple Tactics Thrust. So now that Talons is at 1, but Thrust is at 3. What do you think about this card? Matias, go.
Honestly, there is absolutely no point in banning Thrust in my opinion. Because here's why, right? Yes, you can go search bunch of floodgates, whatever the hell, D-Barrier, Mischief of the Gnomes, Similar Archfiends, fucking Sanctum, right? I think that's all cute, but like, if you ban Thrust, if the deck is that much of a problem where you wanting to play these floodgates, I get that you can play a bigger variety of them because of Thrust, but people are still just gonna play 3 if you really want to like not give a fuck into that matchup, right? And just not interact with them and just floodgate them. And if you're really that desperate, obviously there's trap tricks if you want, I guess, right? But and I even think I think also going second thrust into like board breakers is also nice, right? I think that's healthy, right? I think that's fine. And obviously thrust into talents going second is also fine in my opinion. So honestly, and obviously the fact that if you side into thrust and then, for example, you get impermed or impulsed dominus, and they just don't interact with you, and you're just left with a dead thrust, right? I think that sort of balances it out, right? In terms of how like good the card is. I think the card is fair. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
Okay, Nayan, what do you think?
I think Thrush is like it's such a well-designed card. Like it's like Talents. If it was also good, like better going second as well. The fact that you can set the card, you have to set the card. If you control no cards, just makes it a lot better going second because you just add the card and just use it. And no, it feels healthy and like there's no point in hitting it because you're gonna play more of the cards anyway. Like, now they banned Thrust. I could play 3D barrier rather than one. Like it just doesn't change anything.
Okay, Sulaiman, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Thrust as a toolboxy card is, I like it in the game. Yeah, I think for sure. Like basically, yeah, basically what Nayan and Matias said. Like I think like if you were gonna play the floodgate trap card or whatever, you would still just max that out, or even play like trap tricks if you really, no trap trick, yeah, whatever that card is, yeah. So I think thrust banning wouldn't even solve the floodgate issue anyway. And I think Thrust is like pretty good design for like, those 60 card decks that want to search grass or whatever and stuff. So I think Thrust is fine.
Will, what do you think?
I think like in the terms of like going second and like I like the idea that I do like my thrust of my grass decks, but like my biggest issue with thrust is that the fact that you could set all these floodgates, because here's the thing, is that sure you could play 3 of the floodgates and the card gets banned, but the thing is that if you're playing 3D barrier, not every deck loses a D barrier. Like you go 3 DDG, not every deck loses the DDG. Like you play 3 of like these floodgate trap cards that have niche applications for each matchup. It's not the fact that Thrust can set the floodgates; it's the fact that like Thrust can set like all the like these different types of trap cards that can blow out a deck, and you don't gotta worry about like the application of, oh, I could play like a one of Mischief of the Gnomes. I just blew out Ryziel. I could play one of the some more trap. I just blew out Malice. I could play one of D barrier. I just blew out Branded. Crazy. Or I could set one DDG. I just blew out a rogue deck. Cool. I think it's more of the application than the fact that you can make like with thrust that yeah like the applications of going second is I think is fine. The issue is for me is that if you're going first, it punishes you interacting with your opponent, and that's the issue that I have because at that point, if you're playing 3D barrier, you're not going to be siding D barrier in every single matchup. D barrier is awful in the certain matchups. Like I guess granted, like we look at next format with like Dracotail, Yummy, and Canine. I guess D barrier gets better. I guess I heard like D barrier gets like really good. Um, but in the terms of like you're still gonna have like the decks that don't lose the D barrier, so it's just like cool. I can't side on my D barriers. So what's like the next best option? I'm going first cards. I could play like I could play like different types of floodgates that like anti-spell or whatever that are already at 1. I could play different like one of like floodgates, or I could throw in like these solemn strikes, solemn judgments, solemn warnings. I could play some solemn cards instead that do decent 1-for-1. Well, not all of them do 1-for-1 trades. Like if you set 5 to judgments, like cool. I protected my whole entire back row, but like negating all that, I think banning thrust or like even limiting it or like making it where like it's not like you don't see it every single game, but like it's just one of those things where like I don't know, it just feels awful to get blown out by a trap card that you can't interact with.
Moving on
Fair
to the
enough.
next one. That does make sense because it's like saying the trap cards hurt, but trust doesn't really hurt. That does make sense. Now to the spicy part. Paradise Smasher. What do you got? This card is gonna be used a lot in the next couple of formats. Should it get preemptively hit?
I think Konami never does preemptive. I mean, well, maybe they did at some point, but I think the fact that it's more like Konami just wants to see chaos happen, for one format, and then they'll ban it. It's like the same thing with Beatrice.
Yeah.
Like they could have gotten rid of Beatrice in April, in anticipation of Fiendsmith, right? Especially since it was doing fuck all before, I think the same thing's gonna happen with Paradise Smasher. They're gonna let us, wreak havoc with it for a format or a month, really, and then ban it immediately afterwards. I think that's how it's gonna go. Especially since they just banned it in the OCG. It's clear that Konami knows it's a problem, but I don't think Konami is going to, preemptively hit it. I think they're just gonna want us to do shit with it before they do that. But yeah.
I think the fact that people are still playing it in what the heck is it called? Memento. Like there's so many lists in Memento that you make 3 zebra. I'm just gonna make Paradise Smash it and win the game. Like I think they're gonna hit it. The fact that people are still playing it now, even with the decks that are so trash at making it and struggle so hard to get 3 5s on the field, so you could actually like resolve it properly. And they're still going through all the hoops because they know it's literally just VFD, but like a little bit worse. Like, it's gonna go, and they know that in K9 format, it's just the most stupid card. It's just an insta win, even if you don't draw the out for it.
Sulaiman.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna preemptive hit this. I think they're good, like what Matias said about just waiting for a format for this card to cause chaos is like, yeah, I think that's what's most likely is gonna happen. It probably should get the preemptive hit, but I just don't see that happening.
Will.
Me personally, I do think it should get a preemptive hit. That's just me personally. Konami, on the other hand, I don't know if they will. But here's the thing: like Konami is like really weird on like preemptive hits. Like if we look at for example, if we look at Jowgen, they knew a Balk was going to be able to abuse reborning Jowgen, so they banned that. More to prepare for Jowgen coming into the format. They If you ask me, I don't know if Konami realized like that Beatrice is gonna be used like with like Angel Blue Tears and stuff like that. I don't think they saw that card interaction happening. I know Beatrice is a degenerate, but I think they more so thought Beatrice is gonna be used for like. I think they were to let us use Beatrice for the fact that that Engraver was just more copies of Snake Eyes Ash in a sense. So they figured that we would be using Beatrice in the sense of, you know, let's make Beatrice dumb Snake Eyes Ash, make Promethean Princess reborn a Snake Eyes Ash, and then do our Snake Eyes Ash combo, and let's do a Snake Eyes combo, because that's how I originally think. I think that's the original way that we thought they was. I'm pretty sure that's the way that they thought we was gonna use it, but then like the Angel Blue Tears and like all the other stuff, I didn't think they saw coming too much. I could be wrong there. And then like another preemptive hit. Well, I don't think it was like preemptive hit as well. I say it was because like we look at Flu, the way they addressed it was by hitting the Witherberry statue. But also if we look at it, that next format was that Cashier format, and the OCG was doing this thing where they were making the raid Arsenal Falcon. So in my eyes, that was more of a preemptive hit for Cashier, so they don't. It's Konami, so there's no telling what the fuck they're gonna do.
So, next one, the one that needs to be off the list, Zodiac Trident. I think we all agree this is gonna be unlimited.
No. Can I be that guy that gets stones thrown at him? So okay. So and I'm saying this as well. I'm saying this because like I'm looking in the terms of Ryzeal. It depends what happens to Ryzeal. Ryzeal's still playable. I think this card needs to stay on the list because of the fact that
until Ryzeal's in the format, you think it's gonna be still banned?
Like I just don't think we need that card here, especially right now. Especially I just don't think it's like a good idea to bring back at any amount because like it's just it's a generic rank 4 to begin with, correct?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not generic.
Okay.
You need to go you go check 9 first. He's like 4/4 or something. You need to go check 9 into this.
Okay, wait. Okay.
I think it's not a matter of. Sorry, go on.
Okay, but in a sense though, like there's a world where I just don't like see like this being healthy in a format where Detonator and Ryzeal exist in the format, just because of the fact that you're layering your board even more with just more copies of Detonator at that point, or more copies of Trident. Like that's just like way too oppressive. So in a world if they ban Detonator, I can see maybe they bring it back, but like it's just one of those things. It's like one of those things where Konami needs to be careful if they when they do put it back to 1, because eventually they will. The player base, like the majority of the player base, wants it back at 1. At least. I just don't. I just think Konami just needs to be careful when they release it, because right now I don't think it's a good time. But if they release it in a world where Detonator's out of the format, I think the card is okay to be at 1, and then we could test the waters to see what happens.
I think, yeah, I agree. It's not really a matter of like if, it's a matter of when.
Okay, next one, Electromite.
No, wait. I need to go back to Dryden. I'm sorry. Like, these people, they don't know what I'm talking about. The fact that Dryden was legal in OCG for like forever, and with Rise Your Full Power, and no one ever made it. Like, nah. Like, why would we ever make that? They make Dryden. Can you make that in there? Then it's not once per turn. Yeah, sure, you can't. It's reactive. It comes to protect. It's higher attack points. It can't be walked through by battle. This card is so stupid. Like the fact, like, anyway, it's so much better than Dryden, and no one ever made Dryden beforehand. No one ever did make Dryden. It's no point. This card can come back to free and make no difference.
Where was Dryden at in the OCG before?
For Rise Your, it was unlimited. I don't know. I think it was a 1, but I don't think it wasn't banned. They never made it because why would you make it? You made that.
If your deck
Keep in mind,
loses
it's
Dryden,
not
it's a bad
talking,
deck.
by the way.
Period. That's it.
I thought
Just
it was
keep
banned,
it
I
up.
don't know.
Your deck's a bad deck if
it
you
could
lose
be
to Dryden. Period. Sorry. That's it. That's my take.
Next, we've got Electromite. I think this card
Bring it
should
back
be-
so
I think that card should
bring
be
it back
unbanned.
so Drift and shut up, bro. Please.
I think it should just stay banned because, like,
Nah.
yes, pendulums have done nothing, but like, if you bring this card back, it's like,
Well, they've
this
done
card is
nothing
just
recently.
basically the face of pendulums. It's like, what do pendulums do? I'll make Electromag. It's just boring. Like, pendulums are just boring if this card existed. Like, they need to, like, yeah.
I disagree.
go on.
Mainly because Pendulum itself, Pendulum is in a weird position because all the generic extra deck negates are banned, and that was the whole like gimmick of Pendulum. Just make spam negates. None of them exist anymore. I think giving them back Electromite doesn't. It's not gonna hurt anybody, bro. I think keeping it on the list is just is unnecessary. I think at least just give them a few more toys to play with, man.
Nah, just
I know
Pendulum
Konami
players
hates
burn.
Pendulum.
Let him
just-
burn. Let him burn. Fuck Pendulum players.
I know Konami hates Pendulum, man, but just let him have it, bro. It's not.
Nah,
He did nothing
let
wrong.
them suffer more. I like when they suffer. So
Okay, what about Christian Halki Fibrax? I think this card is good. I think
Unlimited today, please.
Nah, bro,
Yeah,
this
you can
card's
unlimit
so
that.
bad, bro. Like, it's fine. That card doesn't do anything.
All the good targets are banned.
Like, what deck plays tuners? Like, I don't like. You
Well,
can make it in.
okay.
Effect
make it in
Veiler, Effect
Malice.
Veiler.
Oh, you make it Malice. Like, you make backup to tuner. Like, that might be the Vin decks.
the Cybers wicked. Yeah.
In all reality too, like all like the good like generic like all the like the good like all the cards like this was turboing out in the terms of like, you know, Baron Savage Apo, it's a fucking ban. Like I like that fucking that Devil Trinity is like, it's gone. Like, I wasn't playing when Hulk was legal too, so like I don't know if it could come back. But like in all reality, like if the people that was around saying it could come back, just fucking bring it back.
Like,
Also, it'd be fun-
Crystron. I want it back in Crystron. It's so good in
Yeah,
Crystron.
exactly.
But
Right.
no,
You get six.
I'm
Is it
scared for
that
this
good in
in other
Crystron?
decks.
Like,
It's
I've never seen
the only
so
link
good in
monster in Crystron.
So good in Crystron. Especially with K9 cards. You can just summon a 3/5 from like.
Let him have it.
Oh yeah, they get more.
Like,
Okay,
allow-
Okay, this
I need to
card,
help.
this card I think should come back. It does nothing in Master Duel.
it's fun. What?
Anaconda.
Yeah.
This card does
This card
nothing.
is. He's a fraud, bro. Just bring him back.
Yeah,
So
he's
we can
a
laugh
fraud,
at him.
I can't lie.
It's a branded support, so yeah,
It's
I'll
three bricks
agree
for
with
one
it.
negate, or 3 bricks for one pop.
Just go
Alright,
moon. Go moon, bro.
No,
I'll
no,
take
no,
it.
No. All right. I'm saying no. Here's what I'm saying no. You see where we got Moon banned, right? If they don't ban Moon, then sure, then bring back Birthday. But we would have to make sure that Moon doesn't get unbanned, so there's better options to go into. But if you ban Moon and then you unban Birthday right after, like sure, like arguably you play some more bricks for like you play a few extra bricks in your deck. Like you play like what, 3 bricks in your deck for Birthday, right?
Yeah.
3 if you're
yeah,
playing
so-
Dragoon, and 2 if you're playing DPE, because you can use a poly at the end of your turn.
Okay. Well, depending on which one you play, let's just say everybody plays fucking Dragoon. You play 3 bricks in your deck. Okay, that's cool, but like Moon just got banned, right? If Verte comes back, we just start. If our 2 plays get stopped and we can't extend as any further. So imagine if I'm playing Snake Eyes, right? If I normally summon Snake Eyes, I actually imperm that. If I go affect the Witch, just that you imperm that. Instead of going to Close Moon, guess what I'm going into? I'm going in the Vertes, the most fucking boring ass gameplay ever.
Okay, but like. Okay,
But the
it's just bad.
Dex
no
is
one
still
is
half
literally,
pushes, dude.
No one is playing 3 bricks or 2 bricks for Verte. It's not worth it.
I'm not gonna
Like,
lie,
SP,
like Nayan
engines
is
that do the
right.
same thing.
Like nowadays, Dex.
SP,
Go on, Nayan, go on.
SP, and DP, they're basically the same card. Like, ironically, they're very similar. Like, the fact that they both remove themselves from field, both hard to deal with, and they both just constantly remove card from field. Yeah, I know, SP's a little bit worse.
The thing is, no. DP is worse because you can actually Bestial DPE and it'll never come back.
Exactly.
SP,
Exactly.
SP if they're a good player, or if they just go battle phase and you have a battle fader for free, sure. Like yeah, go away. Like you've just gone to the turn for free. But SP will always come back.
But now, hear me out. Like, granted, like, sure, Dragoon takes 3 bricks, but like, we go Verte into Dragoon. You're not gonna run over. You're not just gonna run over a fucking Dragoon. Like,
No one played Dragoon. Like when DP came out, no one played Dragoon, and like so many decks can out Dragoon. Like it's not that.
No one wants to
hard
play
out.
vanillas if they don't have to, man.
Exactly.
I mean,
like, people might play Primate or something like that, but like, it's not good.
I personally think this card is fine. Like nowadays decks are so they're leaning towards being more consistent and running less bricks. Like the only decks that run like 10 bricks are Memento, Mermail, and that's pretty much it. Like
Malice.
nah. But like people like you're telling me like Ryzeal and Malice and all these decks want to play 3 bricks. No, they'll never play 3 bricks.
Not making it. They're not wasting the extra.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
I feel like this card is fine. I think this card should come back.
I don't know. I just think it's boring as gameplay. That's all it is.
Could even be if you bring back Electromite and bring back Verte, that could be something for Pendulum to do.
No, just keep Verte, keep Electromite banned. That's fine.
Alright.
But
I think that's pretty much the end of the video.
You know, wait. Out of curiosity, wait, real quick before we end this. What does Crystal require? He requires a tuner to make, correct?
Requires one effect monster. I think it's literally 1 monster, one tuner. Any non-effect.
Yeah, 2 monsters including a tuner. Yeah.
I get it.
Right. So this is the final list. Everyone agrees. Anything else before we leave?
Any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts?
I think a lot of the complaints when it comes to non-engine that's being played in the meta right now, I think we're in a sort of like awkward phase right now where we're in between decks and deck design just changing significantly. I think you can see that very well with the Justice Hunter decks. If decks keep on going in that direction, I think a lot of the problems we have with like more Charmies, draw, called by, etc., and just card design, new non-engine, right? That starts to get designed in the way, as we said, like the Dominus cards are getting designed. I think a lot of those problems just get naturally solved. I think that's why I think it's fine, right? Like to keep as they are for now. I think just removing stuff too fast, I think would be too ignorant of the progression of the game. But yeah.
Justice Hunters is the savior of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you hate Justice Hunters, you're bad. Period. That's my end sentiment.
Nah, Justice Hunters is like the Poe. Poe was like what 2-3 years ago. Justice Hunters is the new Poe. Like Poe killed 2 card combo decks, and like it made people play 20 hand traps. This is just the same thing. It's cutting all the non-engine that people play now, and we should have played 10-0 all the time. Dragon Tail, VS, K9, they all play 10-0. Like, these cards don't mean anything. The non-engine cards don't mean.
Savior of Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's all just the engine stuff that's the big issues, like the lingering floodgates and just looping from hand. It's just stupid. Those are the main issues with the game right now. The non-engine will just sort itself out over time. It always does. Also complaining about random cards. It always get here. Like, I remember in Sword Sword format, I was complaining about Token Collector, and now it does nothing. Like, these cards come in and out.
Okay, and last one, Sully. You're saying Justice Hunter is a savior. of Yu-Gi-Oh. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Will,
Yes.
any final thoughts before we end the video?
Normal summon fossil dino effect.
Fossil Dino doesn't affect. I had no idea.
All right, guys. Thank you
bro.
guys. Thank you guys for listening to
flip
watch
that.
this video.
I'll
you
see
know,
you guys.
I mean,
Thank you
like,
so
like and
much.
subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
shout
We're
out,
gonna edit
shout
that.
out everybody in the call. I'll catch you guys.
Hey, yo,
Thank
shout
you.
out to my boy Engraver, bro. He did nothing wrong. I think you guys, you're overreacting, bro. 1,000 years success to Engraver, yo. That's all I'll say.
Free
You know?
Mystic Mind.